Hi guys, Kaya here. I'm here with Tim Kirkman from elcomCMS. He's a product director over there. And he's going to give us a short walkthrough today of elcomCMS. Hi Tim, thanks for joining us.
Hi, thanks, Kyle.
No worries. Can you give us just a short overview of elcomCMS, what it can do, who it's for? And then just go ahead with your presentation. I'm looking forward to it.
Fantastic. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So elcomCMS is an enterprise-based content management system. It's very modular-based. So from that point of view, it's very feature-rich. It's got over 90 features out of the box, everything that you'd expect in CMS, from forms and workflow, search, the ability to design your own pages. It's also based on the Microsoft stack, so it's .NET based. So that means it plays quite well with your existing infrastructure that many organisations already have in place, like Active Directory and SharePoint and other such technologies. If you're looking at using elcomCMS in an internal environment like an intranet. So elcomCMS at the moment, our current version is version 10, which has been out for a little while, and we're currently working on the next version, which will be 10.5, which hopefully will come out sometime in the second half of this year. In terms of elcomCMS, we really kind of fly under the mantra of one platform, many opportunities. And I guess that summarises the fact that elcomCMS is quite a broad platform. It can power websites, intranets, portals, learning platforms, mobile applications. It's really quite versatile in terms of the kind of platforms that you can roll out on top of elcom.
Okay, awesome. Sounds pretty good to me. So if you'd like to go ahead and just get us started, however you feel best. I mean, as you said there, elcomCMS is quite comfortable dealing with sort of intranets, portals, web content management in general. So go ahead and give us a short walkthrough about, perhaps just the basic web content management features, and then just expand from there on, if you don't mind.
Yep, absolutely, love to. Yeah, so I've got up here and just an example website, which is an intranet-focused scenario here. And I think it really is a good way of showing off some of the key features of elcomCMS. So the first thing to really highlight here is that it's very much a personalised experience. So all the content within elcomCMS is secured. It can be secured. It can be opened up to the public if it's a public website. But a lot of the different features and functionality within elcomCMS works to deliver personalised content. So you'll only see and have access to what you should have access to, especially in an environment like an intranet. So on this homepage, we've got some personalisation. It knows who you are. We've got a few different, what elcomCMS refers to as elements, which are components on the page, which just deliver different pieces of information. So helpful things like quick links, you can see here on the right-hand side. Our social stream here on the left-hand side, which is a great tool for enabling organisations and teams and projects teams to be able to just collaborate. It's very much in the vein of Facebook and Twitter style communication experience. Some news and events, which is really easy to publish using the elcomCMS platform, and a section down here for internal documents. So elcomCMS at its heart is really about content authoring, and so whether that's been in the context of web pages and web content, or documents, images, video, it helps you to manage that content. A typical CMS, it has all the features that you'd expect around version control and the ability to check content in and check content out, and properly regulate and control the access around the different content that you've got in the system. So I might just navigate here just to a standard web page of content here, and you might notice up the top here that I've got this dark toolbar. So with elcomCMS, that toolbar is our authoring or administration toolbar, and it's permission controlled. Whether you will see it or not depends on who you are logged in as and your permissions. But it actually blends the front end web page experience with the elcomCMS authoring and administration experience. So I've got controls here to dive straight in and go from viewing this page here into editing it. So I've just clicked on the edit button there, and I can scroll down to this content. Now when I hover over it, it'll be highlighted indicating I can edit it.
Awesome.
And I can now start editing this content in place. So working together on a new project to the point of completion. You can see there, you can just type away. You have your WYSIWYG editor up the top here to do all your typical kind of Word style editing, embed images and videos. And then once you're done, you just press save. Then you can either roll back if you don't want to save your changes or click publish. And that's really just diving in there and editing content within a standard elcomCMS web page. From there, you can also, I'll just go back to the home page here and just highlight a few of the other powerful features when it actually comes to designing pages in elcomCMS. So the second mode I'll just put it into here is the layout editor. So the first one was just that inline editing, which is great for just getting in there and putting in your changes within the context of the page and seeing it there nicely styled. But this second option is a little bit more powerful and robust. And as you can see here, my screen has now changed into regions where I've got different elements on the page. And these are the different components which display content. So things like text, images, your social stream element here, your dynamic widget, which is an element which is very powerful and enables you to pull content from anywhere around your site into a single feed, whether it be news or quick links, popular content. Here's your document list, and it's really quite straightforward. You can just drag and drop these different elements and rearrange them on the page however you'd like. And if you'd like to add a new piece of content to any particular section, you just select it from this drop down and click the plus button and it adds it in. There's a few other more powerful features that you can access straight away as well. For instance, you can embed code blocks. So elcomCMS is very developer friendly. It has an entire developer framework which contains over 50 extensibility points, which enable developers to be able to build their own functionality on top of elcomCMS. And a common one is a code block. So being a .NET platform, you can code away in C# and JavaScript, jQuery, and they just get compiled and then executed in the page there to enable you to drop in some more enhanced functionality. So you can build up entire complex layouts really quickly and easily just by dragging and dropping these elements around the page. And then when you're done, you can just press the publish or the rollback button just to commit the changes that you've done.
Okay.
So that's at a really high level, just editing some content. But I might show you some other features that you also can get out of the elcomCMS. One of the more popular features, especially in an intranet environment, is Workspaces. So more and more the intranets are looking to be that single place that brings teams together, brings content from different systems and platforms and surfaces it for you. It's that almost becoming that one-stop shop. And Team Workspaces is a really fast way of bringing teams and groups and sections of an organisation together to collaborate. So this is a Team Workspace here that I've just brought up. And you can do things like have running conversations, around the topic of choice here down the side. And our social feed here, you can, put comments, you can like, and so on and so forth to keep that engagement happening. You can also upload documents directly in line here and share them with the team, who will then get notified. And it's really easy as well just to manage the members of any workspace. And workspaces can be public or private as well. Public ones are great for enabling information sharing at a corporate level, and private workspaces are really great for those teams that really want to focus in and work through a particular project or focus on something specifically. So Workspaces are quite a powerful feature in elcomCMS. And just to highlight as well, these are just article pages. So just like the home page, I can put this team workspace here into edit mode, and you can see the different components that make up this workspace. And I can drag and drop them and arrange them, in order to suit the kind of audience that's going to be using this workspace. To suit the needs there. So this is just an article page. I can drag and drop, and I can even add more elements onto the page if it suits as well. Of course, with any content management system, forms and resources are always at the heart of being able to capture information from your staff, or leads on a web page if it's a public-facing site. And so I might just show you the forms library here, because it brings together a few of the different features in elcomCMS around forms. The first here is the ability to be able to show views of submitted forms. And I've got two different views here. Your leave requests is one, and your expense claims is another here. And I can actually get now a personalized view of all the forms that I've submitted, some detail on them. I'm allowed to re-edit these and resubmit these, which is quite nice. And if I wanted to submit a new leave request, just access it here off the side, fill in the details. You can also save as draft. This is a feature you can turn on and off per form, which is quite powerful, especially if you've got really long forms or complicated forms that you might want to enable people to fill in, over one or two different sittings, or perhaps they need to go and get some more information, upload documents. So you can save forms in draft mode and come back and complete them at a later date as well, which is quite handy for your more business-orientated complex forms that you typically find in intranets. elcomCMS also has quite a robust approval workflow engine as well, which works neatly with lots of different types of content in elcomCMS. So you can attach an approval workflow process to web pages. So the content needs to go through an approval process before it goes live on the site. Documents can also go through a workflow process, but forms can as well. And that's a really good way of bringing in your business processes and attaching them to those forms. So this leave request, for instance, has a workflow attached to it. And as a manager, in order to access the things that you need to do, the approval requests that you have, you'll see I have a little inbox up the top here, back on my CMS toolbar. That indicates the little one there that I've got something to do. So if I click on that, I get to this screen here, and it's a workflow inbox. And it just brings together all the things that are brought to my attention. So it might be a leave request form here. It might be content that is for review, some web pages where people have made changes and it needs to go through me to get approved. And in order to move it through that workflow process, I'll just click on this leave request that was filled in earlier, and I can see the details here. And this form actually lets me update and change them, although you can lock them down to be read only. And it's quite simple here to either approve, reject. I can save my changes. I can add some comments if I need to around why I'm approving or rejecting, and I can back out if I like there as well. So elcomCMS, we try and really bring as much of the editing and the authoring and the administrative functions that you would expect to do in a content management system to the front end, into your web pages themselves.
Sure.
And try and keep as much of the core content management system administrative functions or the back end, locked away, so that you only need to go there when you need to do those powerful processes. So hopefully that's coming through in that many of these functions are available, be it in the team workspace, being able to upload documents in line, make comments, review changes, approve workflows, can all be done, through the front end interfaces there.
Yeah.
Another powerful feature of elcomCMS is its document management. So I'm just going to bring up a screen here and just quickly talk around that. So elcomCMS does have a document manager, which allows you to manage and secure all your different files, PDFs, Word documents, those typical kind of files that you'd have. It also supports video. video files as well, and images, and elcomCMS will actually help you work with video and images and get it ready for the web. So as soon as you upload a video, elcomCMS behind the scenes will actually go and create 3 or 4 different versions in different formats for you. And then if you embed a video player onto the page, it'll detect the device and browser that the person's using, and then choose the correct video format for the player to place. So if it's an iPhone, versus maybe a desktop Firefox, it'll choose the right kind of format video to play, so that you can constantly get the right delivery using HTML5, or it's got fallbacks where appropriate. And also with images, it'll go through and crunch a bunch of different variations of an image that you upload as well. It'll resize it as many times as you like into small thumbnails, large sizes, so that it can be used throughout the site in the right context. That's also very important for mobile responsiveness. So it'll actually, when you embed an image into a page, when somebody requests that page, it will detect whether they're using a mobile device or a desktop and serve up the right size version of that image. There's no point trying to serve a 2 meg or a 5 meg big image when you're on on a phone. So it will choose the right size for the screen resolution and screen real estate of the person's browser. Images and videos have some background treatment to really help you deliver the best possible experience for those assets. But you can see here as well, in terms of surfacing documents on the page, there's a document list element here, which is just quite a familiar but a simple way of delivering documents. And this can be as powerful as you like it to be. You can turn on filtering and sorting and searching, and turn it into quite a robust document repository here, and display it within your pages, whether it's in a website, for downloads, to helpful support documentation, through to intranets where you want to display collections of documentation and enable it to be surfaced through an intranet. As well as that, there's out of the box a corporate directory. So in an intranet kind of scenario, or your portals, this is really important. This is the ability to find people. It supports org charts and those kind of things that make sense in businesses. But it's a typical directory enabling you to really quickly find people, and you can add refinements as well around departments and location and expertise, and a lot of different facets to enable users to be able to locate the right person really quickly. So this corporate directory is also a real key part of elcomCMS as well. Search is quite powerful as well. We do the autocomplete suggestive search in line. But the search is built on top of SQL Server with indexing, and we do full indexing at the database level, but we also do that the indexing on documents. So as soon as you upload standard documents like PDFs and Word documents, it'll be indexed, and that content will then be searchable, which is really important to be able to really show right search results. That the content might be in web pages, but it might also be in documents. And your typical search results are presented with filtering by your taxonomy structure that you've already defined to enable you to drill in and find the right information. You can see that I've applied a filter here. Our search engine also supports some other more advanced features that you typically need to leverage in order to provide a really good search experience. So things like best bets, which is the ability to choose specific search results or articles, web pages, documents to pin at the top. So if somebody searches for a particular phrase, show these as being the suggested contents at the top. It also supports a thesaurus, which enables you to do more powerful things like I've got here, for instance. So I've searched sample, but it's also then automatically included some similar search terms here, like fragment, piece, and portion. So you can narrow and broaden the search results through the thesaurus functionality to really enable you to fine-tune your searching and obviously help your users to be able to find content even if they maybe spell things incorrectly. It can also do the classic, did you mean, where it might, put forward some suggestions around what you might have meant. So this is elcomCMS, and this is all, the front end screens. I might just move into the admin screens.
Yeah. I was going to say that'd be great to see some of the back end stuff.
Sorry?
I was just about to say that would be great to see the back end. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so this is the back end here. So I've just clicked on this little dashboard icon, and that's always at the top of the toolbar. So it's really easy to find from any page throughout your elcomCMS website or intranet portal, whatever it might be. You can click this button here, and it will take you to the elcomCMS administrative, dashboard. Down the left-hand side here, you can see many different options. As I opened with elcomCMS, is very modular based. There's over 120 modules that you can switch on and off, and you can see some of them here that I've got licensed in this site. So I can dive straight into any of the modules from carousel, advertising, events, enterprise search, that corporate directory I just showed you there. All the modules can be easily found on the left-hand side here for you to then jump in and configure. But under publishing, folders is probably where you'll spend most of the time when building sites, and that is your folder structure. And this builds your menu, but also it defines where you're going to store your web pages and your files and everything that you upload. And you can see here that it's quite intuitive. I can drag and drop and rearrange these folders. If I right-click, I get a contextual menu that will help me access common functions like check-in and check-out and version control. And I can compare different versions of a web page and see what's changed, and then decide to actually roll back to a previous version if I feel like the changes weren't quite correct. So the Folder Explorer is a very powerful way of really quickly building up your site structure there. Another place which is important is your document manager. And this is where you can find and search for documents. You can upload documents into a particular folder, and you can also upload multiple documents as well. You can drag and drop a bunch from your desktop to make it really easy to start publishing documents and getting them into the content management system. To then be able to start referencing and using them in the front-end interfaces and screens there. One thing that you'll do a lot of if it's an intranet environment is security. That's very important. Here you can quickly access users and groups. But the permission structure in elcomCMS is very granular. Every function can be controlled. The editor experience can be locked down in terms of what buttons you want to make available, through to all the different folders and content in elcomCMS can also be restricted. And you've got fine-grained control here around full access, no access, read-only, read-write, and all the other kind of levels in between. And it's really easy just to select a security group, so everyone belongs to one or more groups, and then select a function and save, and you've then updated your security profile there. So there, I guess the top 3 or 4 different sections that you commonly spend a lot of time in an elcomCMS website, building up your folder structure, managing your users, uploading your documents and images, and all your other modules are here as well, allowing you to quickly jump in and control their permissions or their properties, and go from there.
Okay.
What I might do as well, while I'm still here in the security section, is just highlight one of the strengths of elcomCMS, and that is around the authentication, the identity management. Because especially in an intranet environment, more and more you're looking at a federated environment where your web servers, and particularly where you store your identities, maybe it's Active Directory or potentially in the cloud, may be disconnected. And so elcomCMS actually supports many different layers within the one install of enabling users to be in different systems. So you can see here that people can come in using OAuth, so especially in public-facing websites, that's quite popular for enabling people to log in using their Facebook or Twitter credentials. SAML is also supported for your federated style scenarios where you may want to allow people to log in using ADFS or some other kind of external third-party federated identity provider, and of course LDAP. So Active Directory, it has a very tight synchronization with Active Directory, constantly synchronizing user accounts and groups and doing that mapping, so that especially in an intranet environment, you can use Active Directory as being your source of users, and then allow people to come in through other different ways as well, and it'll support 3 or 4 different types. You can have people from the front end coming in through Facebook, while your corporate users come in through Active Directory, for instance. So the authentication layer is quite controlled, but also very flexible to enable you to really roll out the kind of platform that you need that meets the requirements of your digital strategy.
All right. I did see a marketing suite there on the left. I'm just curious about that section. If they might showing us something there. I'm wondering, the marketing features like that come out of the box of elcomCMS? Is that part of the plugin system? With personalization and marketing automation being the buzzwords these days, I'm wondering how elcomCMS tackles that.
Yeah. So I've just opened up this the analytics suite section on the side here, and there's a few different modules that make up our marketing suite. So with elcomCMS, you start with the base, install the base license, and then you just license features as you go. So you can start quite small and lightweight if you'd like, and then start licensing and adding on as you need to. So that could include things like built-in analytics, A/B testing, so the ability to compare 2 home pages, for instance, to see which one is more successful around your wording and messaging, personalization and marketing automation. So elcomCMS does have a connector with Marketo, which is quite powerful because it enables you to be able to push information into Marketo. So you can quickly build up forms using the elcomCMS form creator, which will then push lead information that when people fill in the form through to Marketo. And Marketo is really good for then doing that marketing segmentation. So understanding user behavior as they then start interacting with your website, and segmenting people into different groups and segments based on their activity. And then Marketo will then be constantly feeding that information back in to elcomCMS, so that we then keep in sync the user who's browsing around the elcomCMS website and Marketo's understanding of that person. So we then get that segmentation information so that we can then enable personalized content to be delivered. So yes, we support out of the box personalization, and also a connector with Marketo. And it's probably worth showing as well, potentially that in action on the homepage, how that works, if you'd like. So people can be constantly segmented. That can include both visitors and anonymous people who may not have identified themselves or logged in, as well as members who may have identified themselves, by logging into their the membership login page or something like that. And so as you navigate around the site, regardless of whether you're identified or not, so if you're using the Marketo connector, it can be segmenting you, or you can be doing it yourself by wiring up actions within the elcomCMS pages. If they visit a particular page, maybe segment them into A, or if they select a particular value in a drop-down, segment them into B. And you might notice that there's this little panel here in the center that says the Sydney User Conference is in 2 weeks. This is actually personalized content. I've been automatically segmented into the Sydney segments, and so this piece of content here is being displayed to me, whereas it probably wouldn't be displayed, to other people who haven't been segmented into the Sydney segments.
To me over in London, I imagine.
Yeah, so that's just a really simple example of personalization coming out of the marketing tools, both inbuilt, but also connecting with third-party platforms like Marketo.
Okay, fantastic. Anything else you want to show us other than that?
Maybe one last thing on personalization.
Sure.
As you mentioned, it is something that people are really looking to try and leverage in their digital strategies.
For sure.
There's three layers of personalization that you can hook into within elcomCMS. So one is that segmentation, so that's moving people in and out of segments as you understand their behavior. Users can also specifically select their own preferences, and then so you can start surfacing personalized content based on a user's selected preferences. And of course, there's security groups as well, so you can lock down content, based on the different security groups that a user can belong to. And this news feed here on the side is actually leveraging that middle piece of personalization. So I'm actually only seeing news items here that match my user preferences. So I've selected things like news and events to be surfaced, and I'm only seeing news items here that have actually been tagged, with those two tags, and it's filtering out other news items that don't match my preferences. And so with elcomCMS, you can actually mix and match those different personalization strategies to really achieve a nice level of content personalization, both in your websites and intranets.
Okay, awesome. Okay, I think that pretty much wraps up a strong, comprehensive walkthrough of elcomCMS from a number of different angles. Guys, that was Tim Kirkman, Product Director at elcomCMS. Thanks again, Tim, for doing this for us. It's been really, really great. I know I've learned a lot personally. Anybody who wants to learn more about elcomCMS, they can head over to elcomcms.com. Is that correct? And
absolutely.
Yeah, and also they can of course search for elcom on cmscritic.com. We've got obviously our own coverage over there. And I think that pretty much wraps it up. Thanks again, Tim.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.